I'm caught up right now. I'm thinking two thoughts at the same time. Don't know which way to go. The main thought is always sanity and insanity. But I was getting ready to make a note. I mean, an award-winning note to bring down the house. The big question, you know, the 7 billion people question, the one that everybody's asking and nobody's acting like they have the answer. But I'm torn between the crazy thing because of what I'm exposed to second by second as I sit here, like damn near illegally, like I don't know, it's probably less than 4 feet from the street, all right, about a couple of inches beyond the sidewalk, you know, at the edge of the driveway, to make it simple. Now, that's awful close to the traffic. If someone walks by, they could kick my foot if I'm that close. Uh, there's no fence, there's no nothing. But when you're exposed like that, you are open to vampire attack. I guess I decided which note I was going to make. I guess the race thing have to wait. It's not going anywhere. I got it down pat. And it should be my absolute last note, really. But it's no harm in making it now. We'll see, okay, if they deserve it or not. You know what I mean? If you're going to save somebody's butt and they keep trying to drown you, you get an attitude of I should have let you drown. And so that's what's going down. We just have to see how it pans out. Okay? We just have to see how it pans out. So vampire is it. You know, that's not the 7 billion people question. That's the question that's on the screen now. Because all of a sudden everybody's like, hey, you know, pointing at these certain people, hey, you guys are vampires, man. You just feed on everybody else. That's all you are, vampires, man. Now they're so, see, everything they are, somebody just put it in their head and they rode with it. Well, they did the same thing to my stuff, all right? Everybody's running, but I don't know how many of them actually stopped and used it for themselves before they start running around saying, I know something you don't know. See, that's the disease with information, all right? Everybody wants to be a teacher because they started out as a learner. They had to listen to what everybody say, do what everybody told them, and they look forward to breaking away from that. One day I'm not going to do what nobody tells me. They don't know they're telling themselves that, but that's what builds up when you got to do everything someone tells you. Your desire for freedom makes you want to not do anything anybody tell you. So we done created some rebellious people, incooperative people, all right? You can tell in their kind, man, all right? They ain't going to stop and ask you for directions, and they could be lost because they want to be uncooperative. But let's get back to vampire, all right? You know, the question is, what is a vampire? What am I talking about when I say vampire? All right? A vampire is a creature that it's a parasite, okay? It's a parasite. It has nothing of its own, okay? Not even thought. It needs your thoughts to think, okay? And it's a sign of it is its greed, its thirst. See, I'm going to tell you why we use the vampire as a symbol. You make the comparison, okay? A vampire lives off someone else's life force and energy that they're putting out. I don't care if it's thought. I don't care if it's... See, your life is in the blood. Blood is a symbol for your life energy because everything's in the blood. So in the movies, blood symbolizes something else, all right? The movie Life Force, like I said, says it better. It's your energy that they're feeding on your thoughts. Something like... Yeah, when the movie series first started, like I said in the last note, it was creatures, Night of the Living Dead and all that. Apocalypse on and on is went a million copies worse. It was creatures feeding on brains. All right, that's what they were after. They wanted your brains, your brains. This has been phased out. All right, flesh-eating creatures and on and on and on. Brains was flesh, but it's kind of been smoothed over in the other stories. I want you to look at the similarities in these movies and the description of the creature that I'm giving you. Okay, it has an insatiable greed for input. Okay, just like a vampire has for blood, it cannot see it, and its fangs don't start watering. It's thirst. You know what happens when a vampire sees blood? All right, that's the serious fiend. All right, but what happens when you expose your neck? Oh, it gets a hard on too. See, exposed blood, it can't control itself. All right, but the thought of blood, it can sit there and daydream. It can almost live off thoughts of feeding. Okay, just sitting there imagining what it'd be like to bite your neck. It's like you sitting there wondering what it'd be like when the turkey gets done. All right, and you cut into it. It's the same thing. It's the same thing. Okay, the dog is sitting there waiting for you to pour that bag, and it knows the routine. It's sitting there. It's called anticipation. Okay, so it anticipates input, and it looks for the best feed. I'm gonna get to the heart pack, the heart. I'm gonna get to the heart attacks and the kidneys and the PP and all the other tricks in just a hot second. And I'm gonna get to it all right now on both subjects. Now, this creature has powers like Dracula. Okay, mind powers, because you got to remember, it's dead. It's like The Walking Dead. It has no physical power at all. I mean, you scratch it, it'll bleed to death. Okay, it's hemophiliac. All right, its skin is so fragile that it can't even stand direct sunlight. It'll peel and disintegrate just like the vampires in the movies if it's exposed to sun. Okay, now it has an insatiable greed for feed. Okay, it never gets full. Its worst nightmare is silence, no input. What you've been taught to call bored. Okay, it won't. I'm telling you, if it sees you walking, it will copy your walk. It will take your walk. If it talks to you, it'll take the way you talk and start talking like you almost before the conversation is over with. All right, your accents, your mannerisms, your hand gestures, your all. It's like a mimic. All right, it'll take so much from you. It'll become you, and you will become hollow. For real, seriously. Like even like say you're trying to sit somewhere and think. A vampire will not let you even have your thoughts to yourself. It wants to put its background sound, and it wants to have input in your thoughts. It'll make it dog bark. It'll slam a door. It'll start talking. It'll do anything to be in there. You can't even have that. You can't have any. It wants it all. It wants your every thought. If you stop talking, it will start questioning you to death because you cut off the feed. Now, right and wrong, we already discussed that. There's no such thing. It's in the eye of the beholder. All right? Was a mosquito right or wrong? Mosquito is just a mosquito. It's a vampire too. A real bloodsucker. All right? This is not about that. This is about what is. All right? Not fantasy, not mythical, no, this is about dealing with what is, because everything else is insane. Remember, the quest is back to sanity. It's like the whole world has lost its mind, and it's been proven. That's the bad part. No one should have been able to prove we all crazy. I shouldn't have never been able to do what I've done. It should have never been possible, but it's done now. So we start the journey back to sanity. That means, oh, a lot of crazy stuff gotta go. All the crazy stuff gotta go. All right. So let's start at square one with the vampire thing. Okay. Is it actually harmful? Well, part of it is not. You know the answer to everything is always both, okay? It's always yes and no. That's the answer to everything, okay? It's always both, all right? So there's always a positive, there's always a good side and a bad side to everything. Now, where the part